I am always interested in seeing new, unique content. That is the future of every single creative industry. It's not looking back and rehashing the same storylines or character arcs again and again and again. And unfortunately, we see that a lot in Hollywood. But just because you've created something new does not automatically mean that you are going to get my support or find success. And unfortunately for Pixar, they are going through a terrible time because Elio has earned 21 million on its domestic box office opening weekend when its budget was $150 million, meaning it is now Pixar's lowest opening ever. And I think that there are several reasons why. This movie was not marketed properly, the trailers were just really mediocre, and overall, I can't say I'm surprised that this happened. So, Pixar has officially hit a new low with Elio opening weekend's box office. The animation studio, once hailed as the golden standard of cinematic storytelling, has now delivered the worst opening weekend in its 39-year history with this film, a space-themed original movie that limped to just 21 million domestically and 14 million internationally, making for a mere 35 million global debut. So for a company that once kicked off weekends with over $180 million in ticket sales, this marks a stunning fall from grace. And the real sting? This movie was supposed to be the heartwarming return to original storytelling, and instead it is now a cautionary tale. Again, I love seeing new, unique content being made instead of them just constantly recycling the same franchises over and over and trying to tell the same story just with a different coat of paint. I'm glad that they went out of their way to make something new, but on the flip side, you still have to have a good story, an interesting premise. You have to make a high quality product, and just because it's Pixar's name slapped all over it doesn't mean it's going to instantly find success, and clearly that's been proven now. While Pixar's corporate parent Disney, of course, is publicly confident with the film will leg out like last year's surprise performer Elemental, which eventually grossed nearly 500 million worldwide, early signs suggest that Elio won't enjoy the same second win. That film opened stronger than Elio with 29.6 million in North America, and even the underperforming Lightyear pulled 50.5 million domestically on debut. And oh, we know how terribly Lightyear went, all of the bad press that movie had. It just was a really, really bad situation overall. But Disney and Pixar have been officially pushing Elio as a 150 million production. So that means they need to make well over $300 million just by that number. But to make it even worse, multiple Hollywood insiders are disputing that figure, suggesting the real number could be closer to 300 million after extensive rewrites, last minute restructuring, and costly production delays. So if it's 150 million, they need to make at least 350, and if it's 300, they need to make $700 million, which is crazy. And that's even to make costs back and to try to start making a profit. And given that it is doing even worse than something like Lightyear, and it's not doing as good as even Elemental, it doesn't seem like it's going to get even close to that, and that just marks another massive L for Disney. At this point, they're just a walking L, and the reason why people were, I feel, initially mildly excited for this is because they hoped that it was going to be a return to the fun family storytelling of Pixar, and it just doesn't seem that that's the case. Even before its release, industry whispers pegged this movie as a troubled project, and it says, adding insult to injury, Elio was completely steamrolled by the competition. In its second weekend, DreamWorks live-action How to Train Your Dragon live-action remake brought in 37 million, outpacing it by a wide margin. This movie has made a lot of money so far. A lot of people really enjoyed it, if not loving it. They've said it's at least a decent live action adaptation. I haven't heard anything overtly negative about it, which is good for a live action film. But ultimately, we are still talking about Pixar getting steamrolled, which I think is hilarious. In terms of competition, it also had the long awaited zombie sequel 28 years later that it was going against, which snagged 30 million in the North American opening and a staggering 60 million globally, nearly doubling Elio's entire worldwide take. And I can't say that I'm going to shed a tear for Disney. This is not a movie I personally had any interest in or any hopes in. And hey, I am a big fan of animated. I loved the golden days of Disney and the golden days of Pixar, but this just did not capture my attention. And I just think that the teasers and trailers were so extremely bad for this that maybe it could have been a decent movie, but at the same time, it was marketed so poorly that it basically pushed everybody away. And I think that it is funny to see it getting the worst Pixar opening of all time title with its measly 21 million domestic opening. So I will definitely be keeping my eye on this. But for now, that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this, give it a like, and if you didn't, give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I'll talk to you all again in the next video really soon.